This is going to be the video for the Big Fish 120 or 110 trolling motor edition that you do not have to drill into your kayak. There's no rivets needed, no screws needed into the kayak. I'll go over the materials, what you need. Should take anywhere from about half an hour to an hour to finish. So here are the materials. What you'll need is a piece of 3x8 wood framing piece of wood. 8 feet long is what they usually come in. You'll need a tape measure. You will need a spade with a 1/2 inch bit. You'll need a bolt like this. I believe this is a 1/4 inch bolt and it's about 2.5 inches long. Washers the appropriate size, and the nut that goes on the bolt to the appropriate size. Obviously you'll need a wrench of the same size as well, so a 1/4 inch wrench. That's really all you need. You don't really need a miter saw because you can hand cut it if you want to. Cutting through a piece of 3x8 is really not that hard. And you might need some wood glue as well for the mount for the trolling motor. I almost forgot, the main thing that you will need for this trolling motor setup is the Yak Attack adapters. I went over this in my Big Fish 120 accessories video. You can buy them on Amazon. I think you get 6 of them for about $25. I'll put a link down below, but you will need these, at least 2. So this will be the bulk of your work. You want to take that 3x8 and I believe cut it to 34 inches. I'll have all the dimensions in the comment section below. You're gonna drill 2 holes using that 1/2 inch spade bit all the way through. As you can see, it's not attached right now. I'll have measurements for the holes as well. And then this is where you are going to take your Yak Attack adapter that slides right onto the rail just like this. You're going to take your bolt, you're going to go through the bottom of it, attach it to the rail, excuse me, and then this is just how it's going to mock up. It's going to come all the way to the end, it's going to sit, or it's actually going to go through the hole that you used in the wood, and then on top we're simply just going to use a washer and a nut to fasten it. I'll show you how to fasten it, but besides that cut, the only other cut you're going to have to make is, I believe this is 8 inches. Once again, the dimensions will be down below. This is going to be the mount for your trolling motor. So as it's there, you're going to glue these 2 pieces of wood together, and then this is where your motor is going to mount to. Yeah, well, not that one, buddy.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and just to recap, bolt goes through the Yak Attack adapter. It's going to come all the way down. Thread it through the hole, washer and nut on top, and I'll show you how to tighten that because I'm sure some of you have some questions. So we have the bolt threaded through the hole in the wood. What I did is I just took a pair of pliers, because if you don't have something under there to create tension to hold that bottom nut attached to the bolt, your nut up top here is just going to screw and screw and screw and not go anywhere. So just take a pair of needle nose pliers, put it in there, make sure that the rail adapter is actually on the rail. And this is where you're just going to tighten it down. And you're going to do this for both sides. Don't go too tight because you don't want to damage the rail, but you'll know when you're done. Hand tighten it. I have the motor mount glued and clamped. I do highly suggest clamping it if you're going to glue it. If you opt to screw these together, that's totally fine as well. Just make sure that you pick a screw that isn't too long, that's going to protrude through the bottom. I'm going to let this sit, and I'm going to let the glue cure, and then I'm going to throw some paint on it. But that's pretty much it, and I'll show you a video at the end with everything attached, running, and how it looks. So here we are all finished. The motor is mounted. We have our 2, I was calling these 3x8s, but these 2x3s is what they're called. Sorry about that. They're finished gluing together. I have the motor securely mounted, working just fine. This is nice and stable. I would feel comfortable even lifting this up if I had to. It's not going anywhere. Our bolts are nicely secured. If you wanted to, you could chop off the tops of those bolts. Right now just had a battery box lying around but that's where I put the battery. Working on getting a battery box that's a little bit more modern, I guess, and having it back there, but it does work. No issues whatsoever. Only thing I can think of is that you are going to be heavier on the right side, so take that in consideration when you're on the boat or when you're transporting it. Other than that, this is the best thing I could come up with without drilling into your kayak for a trolling motor. That's it. That's how to throw a trolling motor on your Big Fish 120 or 110 kayak. Some questions might be, well, does it really hold up? Does it work? I was at the lake all last week, used the trolling motor the whole time, use it on all speeds, various wind conditions. If you want to see that, check out the Big Fish 120 on water review. The trolling motor worked just fine in good and bad conditions. I just wanted to be able to put it on this nice kayak without having to drill into it, and I thought using the existing rail system with a little bit of modification was the best way to do it. I didn't want to mess around with the Sonar pod and have to take the trolling motor apart, mess with wiring. I just don't like doing any of that stuff if I don't have to. So that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know down below or wherever they go, and check out the other videos so you can see. You gotta relax, dude. So you can see the accessories in use and the trolling motor in use. Thank you.